Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got a little problem with JJ. He don't start with the ignition switch anymore. It was raining the other day and I was doing some repairs to him and got in there, got ready to start him up, turned the key over, dash lights came on, but no cranking of the engine over. So let me show you what I have done so far to track down what I think the problem is. So I needed to get my Jeep started when it was coming the rain shower, and I laid under the Jeep and I shorted the starter out to get my Jeep cranked, so I know it's not my starter. And then there still could be the solenoid on your starter. So I laid under the Jeep, had my wife to turn the ignition key. She was in the cab right there, and I touched the wire with my light probe to the one that's supposed to become active when you roll the key over. Had no power going to my solenoid. So then I come up here to the top and I take out this starter relay, and I jump this terminal to this terminal. This terminal right here is a constant hot. It does have power, and when I jump it to this terminal, my starter will turn over, and if the key is rolled to the on position, the Jeep will actually crank. But when you roll the key to the crank position and you're trying to crank it, I'm not sure which one, this one or this one, should become hot and make the relay bridge this connection. Neither one of these become hot when the key is turned all the way into the cranking position. So therefore I know my problem is got to do with the switch, and that's where I'm at right now. I have ordered a part that I believe that it is, but I'm not certain that it's that part. So I believe it's my actuator, my ignition actuator pin, but I don't know that it's my ignition actuator pin. If it's not it, it is going to be the ignition switch itself. So right now I'm going to be in the process of taking this apart and checking my ignition switch to make sure that I don't also need to get one of those on the way. And my Jeep don't have a tilt steering wheel. I can get this off, but it's a real tight fit. How I prefer to do it is I take this panel right here off, I take this bezel off, after of course taking this kick panel off, and then I'll take the bezel off, and that gives me a lot more room to work. It's a time saver. I don't have to worry about scratching anything. I'll just go ahead and take these pieces off first, and then I will come back and get this off. Okay, there's a little plunger hole right here. You have to roll your key to the start position or to the run position, and you can press up. You feel it spring loaded, and it comes out just like that. And what I was pressing on was this little plunger right here. It just locks it into place. There's 3 Phillips head screws that holds this bottom part of this steering wheel bezel on. Alright, here's the piece that I'm wondering if it's off so bad, and I'm going to try to see if I can find me this is a security torque screw. I'm going to try to see if I can get that off, and if I can get that off, I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to roll this over with a screwdriver and see if it'll crank. If it does, I know for sure that it's going to be the piece that's up in that. Okay, I've got the torque screw out, and now there's 2 white prongs on each side that had to be mashed in. Then you can pull this piece off. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do right now. Okay, something fell, and it was what I thought it was. That's the piece that fell off, and it is my actuator pin, which means this piece right here is good. And to verify that, okay guys, I know the lighting's going to be terrible, but there's a hole up in here that's made to have something inserted into it and twisted. So that's the first click, and with that click my gauges come on. I have my Jeep in neutral. I have my clutch safety switch disabled so mine will crank whether I'm in the Jeep or not. And I'm going to twist this on over. So this piece is good. And this piece right here is bad. That's the piece that's broke. And I've got one of these in the mail. Supposed to be here tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll get that put in, and should be good to go. So that's how I diagnosed the problem. Is I got it down to these two parts, and now I'm certain, because I see that it's broke, that it's this part. But just a little troubleshooting can go a long way. Okay guys, I got my new actuator pin in the mail just a few minutes ago. I got to take the old actuator pin out and put this one in. And on this model Jeep, I really didn't realize why everyone was having to take this piece off and to loosen the signal stalk from above so that they could lift it. On the SE version, or at least my SE version, I didn't have to do that. I could get to the one screw. They was having to take all that off to get to that one screw hole right there. And as you saw earlier, I can get to that screw hole without taking all this off. So I'm not going to have to remove any of this. I can do all of my installation from underneath with this right here intact. So now I have got to remove these last two screws, and then I will be ready to take this out. Make sure you hold up on this plate right here, because it's spring loaded and it will shoot down. Alright, that plate comes off. There's a spring. And then this actuator pin should just come straight down. Just like that right there. Okay, my new actuator pin came with this little brass piece. It had fallen off in the bag, and it comes with a diagram that shows you exactly where it goes. And it was a little troublesome to get it put back in there. Maybe yours will still be intact when you get it. Mine was not. But anyway, I got it. It's pretty simple to know the orientation of it. So that goes like that. There's a little white lip right here that this goes on the back side of it, because when you push this, you want it to be able to push against this little brass piece right here, or whatever it is. That's one thing. So when you get ready to put it in, you will turn these arrows to where they line up just like that. There's an arrow on this top block, and there's an arrow on the cylinder itself. And that's the way that you will put it up into the steering column. And that's what I'm going to do right now, which it goes in this way. I don't know how much of this y'all be able to see, but so that goes up in there, and it's kind of a little pressure fit. I've got a new spring. I still have my old spring, so I could use it if I needed to. And then put the spring on that little knob sticking down. Just like that. And I'm gonna put my 2 Torx bits back in. I'm gonna put this one side in first to hold everything, and then get this other one put in. Trying not to drop it. Alright. Now I'm ready to put my cylinder back in. I have my key in, and I had it rotated to the run position, and the way I have the piece I just put in lined up, it should just go straight back in. Okay, and if I roll my key now, this piece should spin. Alright, so that's correct. Alright, so now I'm ready to put my switch back on. I need to put my switch into the run. I already had it in the right. Okay, that's in the run position, and I know that this is in the run position, so this should just go straight back over this and push up on those 2 white prongs. Okay, that seems to be seated, and now the test will be if it starts. And we have success. Now all I gotta do is put my bottom cover back on, put my kick panel back on, and this job will be done. Alright, I got it all put back together. Got my ignition switch bolted back up, got the 2 bolts in the bottom, so it's only 3 bolts that actually holds the actuator pin in place. One control hit on the ignition switch, remove it, pull the ignition switch off. 2 on the actuator pin, drop it, and then the pin will come out. But you already got to have your ignition cylinder out. So anyway, got everything put back together, squared away, and one more try on the start. All right, all my dash lights are on, fired off, just like she's supposed to be. So that was a success. I'm proud that I happened to order the right piece and got it put in, and now everything's working again. So anyway, this was a very simple job, and I hope it might have helped some of you out about how to troubleshoot to find out how to know what the problem is. So I started as far away from this as I could. I started with the starter and worked my way back until I got to in here and discovered that it was actually in here like I thought it was. Well guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I thank y'all for stopping by and watching. I hope this has helped someone out. This is simple fix. It's not hard to do. Anyone can do this fix, and I hope that the process of elimination, me starting down at the starter and working my way all the way back up to the ignition switch, might have helped someone out to figure out how to diagnose your own problems. Anyway, if you've made it this far and you hadn't yet, please give me a thumbs up. That'll help this video get recognized in the YouTube algorithm. And if you're watching and you hadn't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I thank all of my subscribers for coming week after week and watching these videos. It really helps the channel out a lot, and I don't take your support for granted. Well, y'all come back next time and we'll see what we got going then. Yeah.